So you guys are fully self-contained in the utilities.
Yes, we rely on central IT and central GIS for maintaining the base layers and the base infrastructure for what we do. But SCADA is separate, obviously. SCADA is not part of the city's IT function. That's solely out here. But
okay. So here's what I'll do. Very short slideshow. Just who we are, framework of the app, and then I'll get into showing you the different apps. Are you familiar with our software at all, starting out?
No.
Okay. One thing I love to do, just to give you to understand a little better, how do people use this instead of just showing technology? What do people get out of it? Just a 2-minute video here. I don't know if the audio is coming across. Is it?
I might have my sound turned off. I usually do.
Tell me if it is. I'll just put it right there on the phone.
Okay.
In Durham, North Carolina, Freeance Mobile for Cityworks reduces the water department's costs and gives its workers more control in the field. First, Superintendent Andy Brogdon tells us how Freeance Mobile saves the city money.
The hardware costs are less with a laptop. Not to mention, if we had laptops, we would have the cell phone bill, then we would have like a Wi-Fi or something like that for wireless access. So that's an additional cost.
Freeance Mobile also helps Durham control its labor costs.
We're kind of under a mandate to create a report and document our overtime very meticulously. I think Freeance has made it much easier to add time and differentiate between straight time and overtime on the work orders, and by making it easier, the guys are more inclined to do it.
And Brogdon said Freeance Mobile also allows crews in the field greater independence.
It seems like they have a little more confidence because prior to using the smartphones, the supervisors were verifying every work order and closing every work order, and at least from my perspective, it seems to have given the guys a little more freedom, and I think they're appreciating that. When we went to Freeance with the smartphones, we tried to take the approach of not so much as following a checklist, you do this, you do this, you do this, but try to help them to understand how it works overall. So if they do have a problem, they're able to get around it themselves. I've heard nothing but good feedback from it. My guys were a little skittish in the beginning, but I think once they saw how it transferred Cityworks from what they were used to seeing onto the device, it's made it much simpler. Just using the smartphone and the Freeance app, I think it's opened their thinking up and looking for different ways to do what we're already doing, looking for easier.
All right, so it's all about empowering end users.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I like that Andy's also told me is those guys, as you see on that front screen, their biggest technology tool was a shovel before they took mobile devices out with our software in Cityworks. So we'll go ahead and get into this. Let's just a little better understanding what you're trying to achieve from mobile technology. And so when you do get Cityworks implemented and you do get mobile up, Andy mentioned, hey, I'm trying to get better overtime recording. Is there anything specific you're trying to achieve?
Basically, right now everything is paper. So, in our current CMMS, we print out the work orders, and then they are distributed, and then we have a lot of staff that is pretty much dedicated to data entry. And so one of the main things that we're trying to do is take that paper away and just get the video. Guys will actually close their work order, because one of the kind of silly things. I think people have this idea that supervisors are looking at every completed work order and reviewing them and then signing off on them, but really what happens is somebody at the data entry person simply enters it. If they see something that's glaringly an error, they'll kick it back, but for the most part they just blindly, enter whatever the field guy says. So why doesn't he just close it himself?
Okay.
So that's kind of what we're trying to do with this, is we want to, distribute it. Either we have laptops, iPads, or on their smartphones. And especially like a simple workflow like a valve exercising program. I mean, the guy has a valve truck, and all he does every day is goes and exercises valves, and there's only, 4 things, for example, that could go wrong or happen. So there's a pull down with a choice of 4 things. This really doesn't need a full-blown Cityworks. He just has his work orders, he opens it, he selects the valve, he does his work, he closes it. For real simple workflows, I think this kind of app would be great.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I started to flip through. That's all good stuff. I was taking notes again. Yeah, I wish I would have showed Omaha video, but we're not going to do that. Talks about actually removing clerical staff once they put our software in, because they weren't doing that on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of other stuff we could have people doing that, they're tied up doing data entry.
Yeah. So, this works with Cityworks 2013, 2014, I'm sure what you have. We're iPhone and iPad and Android only. Don't do Windows.
Okay.
Okay, so no laptops, no tough books. And a little bit about us, very quickly. We're a software company. We're not an engineering firm. We're not professional services. We're not an implementation partner. We're a software company. Been doing mobile for a long time. We put GIS on mobile devices, BlackBerries before ESRI did. We're Cityworks business partners. You see they're still on the ground today.
Yeah.
And got a lot of clients who have been in business since '88, so we've been around.
Okay.
What is Freeance Mobile for Cityworks? It's server-side software. You got to stick software on top of the Cityworks server. And that, in conjunction with you download a native device. If you go to the App Store, you'll see Freeance Mobile on the iPhone or Android. It's plug-in ready to use, meaning when you do all your hard work that you're grinding through, migrating your data, putting up templates, doing permissions, all that flows right through to our software. If somebody has permissions to not close a work order, they can't do it in our software. You don't have to set that up. It's already there. Because we use the Cityworks server. We're hitting the Cityworks server. Always like to make this is a live connected application. You can't go disconnected. Now you can go in and add a service area. I can be sitting there filling out a work order, putting in labor, taking a photo, submitting it to somebody, and stay in that one work order and go disconnected. I don't lose anything. The app doesn't crash. I don't lose anything. I can add materials. I can do other things in that one work order. If I try to save it or move to another work order, it'll just say server not found, try again. And until I get into cell coverage again, I'm in that one work order. So it's kind of a graceful disconnected, but you do need data plan or MiFi or something.
Yeah, we use NetMotion.
Yeah.
So we hardly ever get disconnected anymore.
Great. We're compatible with NetMotion.
Okay.
We got clients using that as a VPN.
Okay.
What can you do? I'll show you this. Work with work order service request inspections and your live GIS map. Even set up the ability to maybe edit features. If you want somebody, when you're doing that valve exercise, to go in and edit, I think we might have talked about this, not only the Cityworks work order, but modify the hydrant valve attribute, they could do that. Now that's optional. You can turn that off or on, make it layered or attribute dependent, so very controllable. How is it different? We'll get into this. It's made for smartphones and tablets. I mentioned we go right to the Cityworks server. It's no third party going to another database, batching it in. So another thing, and I'll show you in the demo, if you can't do it in the Cityworks server, you can't do it in our software. If you try to close a work order and you got a task open, you can't do it in our software, just like you can't do it in Cityworks. And we strive to bring the same tool set that you can do in the office to out in the field. Little technology. Here's the standard Cityworks server. And as I mentioned, we're just software on top of that, going out to the smartphones and tablets. We work very closely with Cityworks. As a matter of fact, they came to us 4 years ago, asked us to mobilize Cityworks. A lot of clients, large and small, this is a short list. And I think the last slide here is something we're really happy with. This is a client survey from last summer. We have not had a failed project with Cityworks. Everyone that's used Freeance Mobile for Cityworks is operational. 90% plan to increase the use. 10% of that is, we just got some clients who've got 3 field crews and that's it.
Yeah.
So we've had really good success. And you know, one of the biggest things people report is it's just work's getting done quicker. Communication out in the field and work getting done quicker. Okay. More chest beating. Let's go on and do this demo. Any questions while I share my desktop?
No.
Okay. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen. Okay. And I'm just going to bring up an iPhone. And this is a live iPhone. This isn't an emulator on the screen or anything, as you can see. I bring up the iPhone instead of the iPad. The iPad's just, it's too small on my screen. The iPad's great, it's a big map, it's bigger text, but when I project it, it's too small. And the iPhone app and the iPad app work identical. So, as I said, we've got a native application. There it is on the bottom. You download it. You open it up. And the first time I'm going to back out of this a little. I was doing something, working with Birmingham, Alabama earlier this morning, but let me back out and show you here that this is the screen you hit the server with, your server. What's unique about this is you can have different configurations for different users. Wastewater, meter readers, line maintenance, hydrant, flushing, checking, testing, different forms, different searches, different maps. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's not, you can make as many configurations as you want. The public works can have some stuff, configurations, utilities can. So I'm just going to grab water, and this is just my standard Cityworks login. This is the same login I have when I go to hit Cityworks in the office. We'll log in, and there's my service request, work orders, inspections. And it's the same, I don't know if you've looked at Cityworks, but it's the same as, this is my inbox. Yeah. What have I got today? It's live. If somebody just gave me a service request, it pops up. Let's, just start at the top and go into these things. That's a work order. So you can see it's very linear. There's all my labor, equipment, materials. There's my custom fields that you add in Cityworks, including taking photos. There's my tasks, my assets. So I can come into this and let's update it. Maybe I want to assign it to somebody else or change a priority. Maybe set completed date for the actual finish date. I just come in here and start, we try to make everything pull downs as much as we can. The less typing somebody has to do, the better. Grab a photo. As many photos as I want. They show up on the server. If I'm back in the office, that guy sees that. Save it. Go into labor, equipment, materials. So I just changed the work order there. Maybe I want to add some equipment cost to it. Go ahead and add a truck. Assign it to a task. Same workflow as Cityworks. Save that. Now, if that goes into estimate, like somebody back at the office estimated this, guy in the field can grab that maintenance truck on the bottom and change it to actual. And it'll flip to actual. So once again, anything you can do in the Cityworks, we want to do in this. Go ahead and close it. Yes. That's starting from your work orders, but maybe you want to come in here and say, well, let's go to the map, and like Vista, California, they just, with their hydrants, they just plot them on the map, drive down the street, and in this case, this is just a live ArcGIS map. Let's turn on some of our layers, maybe aerial photos and so forth. I want to select the asset or the work order from the map. I don't want to look in the list. I'm just going to click the work order right here. There's my work order. And I can open it up from there. Now, another way, this is the live GIS map. And we made this map so it's not GIS, how do I want to say, rigorous. We made this so a non-GIS person can use it. Very simple tools on the bottom. There's not a ton of tools here. The bullseye in the middle, zoom to my GPS just like Google Maps. Give me the blue bouncing ball and drive down the street as I drive down the street.
Yeah.
So that's my office complex there. Now what I can also do is I can start a work order from the other side. This is what people want to do. I was flushing that hydrant, and I found it's broken or it needs repair. I can select it. I can click on it once, which I just tapped on the screen. You can't see. And bring that hydrant up and then say, hey, let's attach a work order to it. So there's the hydrant. There's my GIS data, which you're probably familiar with. As I said, I could modify this. I could go in this and change, the type, diameter, whatever I wanted. But I want to go over here and on the bottom attach a work order, and then I'm back into that work order flow again. What have I got? I've got a hydrant. I'm going to flush. These are all templates that are just coming from Cityworks. Assign it, submit it, stage. So really easy to use here. We typically have a training of about 15 to 30 minutes before these guys take this out. So that's our application. I can also go into service requests, obviously, and bring up service requests. Once again, this is just my live inbox. So we strive to be able to do everything we can do in Cityworks in a really linear, easier fashion to do. Now, another thing, too, let's go into a service request here. And we'll go ahead and update it. See, it has a photo in there. What I can do here is I can minimize these fields. I can come into my configuration software and I can say, hey, that work order needed, don't show that because, as you said, I just want 6 fields. Probably a better example here is I can go back into work orders. Let's grab that last one I was working with. And I can remove fields here. Maybe I don't want people to see units accomplished. Real easy to do. I just come into my configuration software. I'll just go under the hood for just a split second, just show you how easy this is. So this is what your IT administrator, Cityworks admin, would come into and say, hey, I need another form for another group. I want to remove something. In this case, I'm going to go to that water group. I'm going to go into work orders, and I'm going to remove units assigned. I just don't want to see that. So hide those two. I can alias them. I can move them. I can have just pull down. So all through this configuration, I modify this. So where we got units accomplished, but let's jump back out here quickly and just save this. Nope, I went too far. Let me jump back in. Log in, work order. There we go. So we'll go back into that work order, and now I don't have, it's not showing units accomplished. So is that quick to modify it? So that's our application. Okay. And that's a little different than, here's the Cityworks application I just opened up. It syncs. It's not live. It works semi-disconnected. So we sync all the time, but should come up here. Yeah, let me do this. I think this will zoom to where I am. So here's what a work order looks like in their application. So it's just these fields. I can't, do I have units accomplished and status and submit to and all that? No. Can I create a new one? No. But if I just want to come in here and get a quick look, I can do that. So pretty quick to see, here's the difference between the two. This is a very quick supervisor overview. And I do have a map. Ah, there we go. Okay, so there's the map. And there's the same hydrant I selected. Now, I can't select that hydrant in this map. I can't click on it and open it up and attach a work order. It won't do that. I can't, instigate things out in the field. I can just kind of review.
Right.
Now, that's completely different than taking this out in the field, which you do on a laptop or an iPad. This is the full-blown Cityworks, and I'll go into field mode, and I'll log in. So this is what this would look like on an iPad. And an iPad has trouble because the map is not quite designed for an iPad. It's not a native app. This is a web. It's tough to work with a finger because now I'm trying to pull, I'm trying to hit this and pull up labor. It's made for a keyboard and a mouse. But if people are sitting in the truck and they need to see all this, and they want to get a report, and they got to use Excel, this is what they should use. If they got to walk around, take photos, get in a ditch, go out to the hydrant, they should take a mobile device. So those are the things I wanted to show you. As I said, it's pretty quick. We hit 30 minutes. One of the things I said I'd show you is, and I'd probably email it to you so you can digest it, chew it, reference it. Here's the 4 apps. I just showed you field mode. It was a very thick one. We looked at the native app. It's a little thinner. There's a typical user profile. And that HTML5, these really two are the same. They look and act the same. And then we showed Freeance Mobile. So I got a spreadsheet that I'll send you that you can use as you go down the road referencing, what devices does it run on, is it disconnected, limitations, best uses.
Okay, yeah, it looks good. Like I said, I'll have to kind of probably shelf this until I get into a pilot and start seeing, some of the limitations, and then I'll come back to this and kind of reference it as we go. And I might even, ask to demo it or pilot it and see what we get out of it.
Well, what I'd recommend is what we do with 90% of the people. Take 60 minutes to put an eval in. When you get Cityworks up and operational, where you're ready to go out in the field, we can take 60 minutes, lay our software. We don't touch Cityworks. We just lay another piece of software on top of Cityworks. And then you can look at our software. You can kick it around out in the field just like I did. You can let's bring this up in Cityworks. Let's bring it up in Freeance. Let's bring it up in the WebEx. That's kind of what I'd like, to recommend.
Okay.
And it sounds like you might have people to delegate that to, so.
Yeah, we'll,
What's a last item here? What's a rough timeline of you think you might be out? Sometime this summer, next year?
No, we're looking first week of March. We're gonna we have some workshops to start the pilot. So we hope to be in a pilot for just a portion of our operation in March.
Man, you're killing me. March, I mean, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there, you know, that's when I'm going to start getting a feel for. That's why I was hoping Tracy would be on here, because she's already using it. I invited her, but she must have got tied up. But
well, we recorded it for her so she can look it over and comment on it.
Okay.
But and I'd like to bring you back up in March and twist your arm on an eval. It's really easy.
Yeah, that's. I think that's probably a good time would be like in the later March to touch base with you.
That's what I hear. Okay. Okay. That'd be great. And even if before we do the eval, I'd even be up to, you know, like you said, maybe show this to a couple of the field guys real quick. Or even just, you know, we've got a lot of movies, training movies. Show that to them, see what they think. But like I said, I'll bring you back in March. I'll send you this spreadsheet. I'll bring you back in March about an eval. Ask who you're working with. I know who are you working with at Cityworks?
It's RJN.
I'm sorry, who?
RJN.
RJN, but you're not working with Jake or anybody from Azteca?
No, that's been kind of the odd thing is Azteca's kind of hands off.
Yeah, you were telling me. That wasn't the happiest thing in the world. Okay. And then I'll also send you the recording of this movie.
Okay.
I really appreciate all your time, Jeff. You hit you on the phone and you jumped right on it. Thanks.
No problem. Well, we definitely want to get mobile with this thing. So if this is somewhere we need to go, I need to be aware of it. So let's touch bases again.
I'll do it.
Okay.
All right. Hey, thanks and have a good day.
You too. See you later.
All right.